We're now joined by CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez. And John, let's be honest here. We're going to call a spade and call this game ugly. It was ugly not just for Denver, but also OKC when it came to shooting. But I want to get your take on what was the ultimate difference maker in Game 4 for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that Oklahoma City was resilient. This was a question coming into this game, this series, these playoffs, Kiana, was whether or not Oklahoma City could keep calm and win in these tight situations in the playoffs. They haven't really played many clutch games all season. They played the fewest clutch games, actually, all season long of any team in the NBA. That's because they throttled everybody that they played, right? I mean, they won the Western Conference by double digits over the 2 seed, the Rockets. So that was okay. And then the first series against Memphis, they just steamrolled through Memphis as well. So they hadn't really played many clutch games. They had that Game 1 that they gave away, and then the overtime thriller in Game 3. So now in this game, yes, this was an ugly game. They did not shoot the ball well. They shot the ball pretty poorly, actually. They shot it even worse than they shot in Game 3, but it doesn't matter because they stuck with it. And as you mentioned, SGA, team high 25 points. Then he also has, 9 of those in the fourth quarter. So he was there's only one other starter. Jalen Williams was the only other starter in double figures, and he only got there because he shot 2 free throws late, and he was coming off a playoff career high Game 3. So to see the Oklahoma City Thunder answer that question in Denver and beat the Nuggets, who do have that playoff consistency, and they have been tested in the postseason. That was the one thing that you wanted to see from the Thunder.
But meanwhile, I know we're talking about SGA, and you talk about it being a clutch game, terrible shooting outing, but I feel like we got to give credit where credit is due. And I think we got to highlight what we saw out of OKC's bench, because we had 3 players in double figures. They accounted for 32 points, but not just that. OKC's bench, well, let's talk about the team as a whole. They had 10 three-pointers in the game. 8 of those threes came from their bench. How important was that in the difference in this game?
Yeah, I'm glad you flagged that because, as I mentioned, Jalen Williams in Game 3 was fantastic. He had a playoff career high 32 points. Tonight, just 10 points on 2 for 13 from the field. So he's their other all-star. Okay, well, now what about Chet Holmgren? Chet Holmgren didn't have really a great offensive game either. All right, well, what about Isaiah Hartenstein? It's not like he's exactly a bucket. So, yeah, Alex Caruso, Kason Wallace, and Aaron Wiggins were outstanding, not just shooting the ball. As you mentioned, they only made 10 three-pointers as a team tonight, Kiana. They shot 24% from deep. They were brutal, but 8 of those were Caruso, Wallace, and Wiggins. And then they also, 2 of those guys, Caruso and Wallace, are just absolutely fantastic defenders. Caruso was all over the Nuggets that he was lined up against defensively. Same with Kason Wallace. So, yeah, they really needed that bench contribution because the starters outside of SGA really did not come to play tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just what OKC did offensively or maybe didn't do, but also what they were able to do defensively and holding the Nuggets and really forcing Nikola Jokic to fight for those buckets. But I feel like this was, I mean, we all know it's a narrow win for the Thunder. But now, do you think, this defensively, this could be a turning point for OKC, or are you not quite writing off this battle-tested Nuggets team just yet?
I'm not writing off the Nuggets for sure. The Nuggets, there's a scenario where the Nuggets win this game. For as bad as Oklahoma City was shooting the ball tonight, the Nuggets were even worse. And they had a really terrible Game 3 shooting the ball. They were even worse tonight, 31% from the floor, 24% from 3. And they missed some critical free throws in the fourth quarter. Nikola Jokic missed 2 big ones as well. Between the first quarter and the fourth quarter, they just could not score, Kiana. They had 26 points, the Nuggets did, on 45 shots. They lost by 5, right? So if you get a couple of those to go down or Joker hits a couple of free throws, that's something that all of a sudden maybe the game goes the other way. Now, if you're Nikola Jokic and you're the Nuggets, yeah, maybe you are a little bit concerned about the way that Oklahoma City has played defense on him because he's had a really bad last 2 games shooting the ball. And part of that is he just can't get a shot to fall. But part of it is they've thrown everything that they can at him. They've thrown all kinds of different looks. Isaiah Hartenstein has been excellent on him. Jay Will, the other Jason Williams, the bench Jason Williams, he's been excellent D'ing up Nikola Jokic, as has at times Alex Caruso and Lou Dort. All these guys are super switchable, and there's a reason why they're the #1 defense in the NBA during the regular season. So, yeah, Oklahoma City's defense has been much better over these last 2 games. The Nuggets have been much worse shooting the ball. Joker has been much worse shooting the ball, but he's still the best player in the world, so absolutely not counting them out. It's a series. It's 2-2.
Still the best player in the world, but certainly they were finding ways to affect him throughout this game, and maybe that could bode well for them as they start to head home for Game 5. As always, John Gonzalez, we appreciate you dropping the insight on us. Thanks so much. Maybe not a great day for Jokic, but, I mean, SGA Most playoff games now with 25 points, 5 rebounds, and at least 5 assists in Thunder franchise history make that number 9 the 4th most in Thunder franchise history.